We are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast. My name is Nate, and in this episode, we got Baby Yoda on a t-shirt. We talk about Elizabeth Banks' next venture, and we uncover the mystery of the lost Star Wars script. But first, if you're joining us for the first time, this is a weekly show covering the world of film, television, gaming, toys and collectibles, and all things geek-centric. Joining me on the show, we've got the joyous judge of jams, J-Law.
Yo, yo.
And to his immediate right, we've got Kevin, the Crumpet Killer Hudson.
Ooh, crumpets. Hello, everybody.
Yummy.
How's it
Crumpets.
going? I had breakfast on the mind today, you guys.
Well, there we go.
I
I've
didn't-
always got breakfast on the
Is
mind.
that it?
Breakfast is the best meal.
Justin, as the joyous judge of jams, raspberry, strawberry. What do you?
Ooh, I like raspberry jam.
Raspberry jam
Yeah,
over
I'm all
strawberry?
over it.
Really?
Well, I'm a fan of red jams.
Okay.
If that counts. So
Grape jelly all day long, baby.
Great jelly all day.
I
long.
generally prefer purple things.
what about
Oh yeah,
marmalade?
like a grape jelly.
Yeah, I love grape jelly.
Oh, I thought you said grape jelly originally.
Oh, no, yeah. All jellies that is great, I enjoy. Yes, no, grape jelly.
I'm not a fan of marmalade. Though.
no,
No.
Yeah,
Too,
marmalade.
is it too bitter?
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's orange. So I always think of like it tasting like orange.
Okay, I think that's what it's made out of.
And I'm a
it?
smooth guy.
Yeah.
I like a nice smooth jam, not the
Okay.
chunky kind. You know,
Oh.
with the
So then, like, how do you deal with seeds
seeds in a...
in a jam?
Well, you don't get those in like your processed Welch's jams and stuff. And that's
course,
me.
of
I'm
course.
preservative central, baby.
I'm a craft jelly kind of
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, enough about breakfast. We've got a jam-packed episode for you this fine evening. I think just to dive right into it, we should get into whatcha. Kevin, what you been watching or doing or?
Well, on the personal side, I just got back from Sin City,
Yeah.
Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
I won't delve into too many details, but I will say when they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, they're talking about your money.
Yes, exactly. I was gonna say, how much money did you lose?
Yeah, too much to mention on
Oh,
air.
no.
My accountant might get mad at me.
Oh no! And we talked about the fact that you're going to be getting married soon. So
So yeah, I was trying to pay off the wedding, and
Right.
instead I just added more debt to my life. So woohoo!
fantastic.
Thanks, Vegas. Thank you.
But you mentioned in our last episode that you were going to get a chance to play Pokemon. Did you get any Pokemon playing?
I had 10 hours of flight time, didn't I?
Yeah.
So
How'd that go?
I'm loving it.
Yeah?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah?
A lot of fun. I'm actually like okay with these new Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I've never been okay with them before.
Right, the
So I don't
design
know.
of them. And things
I like
that.
them. They're fun. I'm enjoying picking out the ones I want to, add to the team and sort of, improve upon and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think the character design's been great. And you had mentioned all the little shortcuts and playability factors that they added in.
Yeah.
Even just being able to, get your Pokeball out to catch a wild Pokemon right from the
get-go. Oh, the little button. Yeah.
yeah.
You just
You
press
hit X and it's gone. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to go in the bag and stuff. Like little
So
features
good.
like that are really good.
Cool.
So yeah.
And are you reading everyone's voice with a British accent, given that it's kind of like taking place in a Britain type place? I don't know if you
was that
noticed
the
some of
idea? I
Yeah.
hadn't really picked up on that.
Well, there's some really weird, like in the first few moments of the game, there's a character that's like I can't believe you didn't get lost. Like your pants with directions, or your pants with directions. And I'm just like, what is that? I had to go to like my local British friend at work and be like, what does this mean?
Well, somebody told me that that's a very Japanese stereotype or trope. A lot of times, a doofus or a buffoon character that they'll have, they're always getting lost.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay.
even if they're following somebody, they'll get lost, and
So
that's
maybe
just
that
the
makes
trope
sense.
that they have.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
yeah.
But you're loving it so far.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And your starter you picked. Who did you pick?
Well, I can't even remember his name. I went the guy with the
The
I went,
stick, yeah,
Stick
Grookey.
Man. Yeah,
Grookey
yeah.
gang all day. I went with
He's
Grookey
a
as
drummer.
well.
That's right up my alley. So I like that.
Very cool. Awesome. Have you been watching anything?
I've been trying to. I mean, there is just so much stuff on right now, everywhere. That how could you like? I'm
It's too much.
behind on every show. I'm a season behind.
Yeah.
I'm 3 episodes behind.
It's too much to watch.
I think I've caught up on Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Enjoying that. You had mentioned one of the episodes felt very much like a filler episode.
Yes.
And I agreed with you very much when I watched it.
Yeah.
The episode finished and I was like, that was the one Nate was talking about.
Yeah.
But on the last one, I hope this isn't a spoiler, but Russ Hannigan comes back.
Russ Fest.
I love him, man.
Dude.
Tres comas.
And it's such a parody of the
that Mad Max commercial?
No, well the Mad Max commercial. But also wasn't there like that festival, Fire Fest?
Oh yes.
Right? It's an exact rip off of that, right? Like
sure. Like a little bit of Burning Man meets Fire Fest. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Can't wait.
What else? Finished American Horror Story.
Oh, wow.
One of my favorite seasons in years. That was a lot of fun. If you're a fan of slasher films, even if you don't like the American Horror Story series, go check out the season 9.
And I think you mentioned like you can just jump into season 9. You don't have to watch.
It's an individual whole story there, and it doesn't cross over with some other seasons like some have.
Awesome.
So it's a totally standalone adventure. But it was pretty darn cool to watch them make fun of and pay tribute to 80s slasher films.
Cool.
And then the last thing I wanted to mention, so I've been catching up on my Wednesday night shows, which would be Goldberg's, Modern Family, and Single Parents.
Okay.
And Goldberg's hasn't been a very good show for years.
Yeah.
But all 3 had wicked Thanksgiving episodes. I don't know what about the holiday season brought that out in them.
Yeah.
But so Goldberg's, we're watching it, and all of a sudden Dan Fogel shows up.
Yeah.
Guy's dropped 100 pounds.
Really?
He looked incredible.
That's good.
And so, like, I'm on a weight loss journey of my own. You know, I'm down 75 pounds. Very proud of myself.
Congratulations.
And then all of a sudden, this son of a bee comes on, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah,
like it
competition
was
there.
And so they wrote it into the show in a very funny way that was very fitting for his character.
Yeah.
But I wonder how they're going to do it for Fantastic Beasts.
Right. Oh, yeah, because he's going to look so different.
So different.
Going into the next one.
He cannot just show up.
Unless, do you think for Hollywood, he puts it back on, or?
No, I read somewhere, because as soon as I saw this episode, I was looking it up to see how much he had lost and how he did it. I'm always curious about that stuff. And he says they're working on ideas to incorporate it into the movie. So I thought that was really cool and something to look forward to.
He'll drink some sort of
potion or something,
100%. They'll do a CGI fat suit, if you will, or something,
right?
Maybe.
And then he'll just and then it'll pose the typical kind of Harry Potter question, because if there's just a potion out there that you can take and lose weight, why is anybody overweight in the Harry Potter world?
It's like, why are there bathrooms in the Harry Potter world when J.K. Rowling said there was a spell that would help them to not have to ever use the water? Like, ridiculous.
So,
Love it.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to.
Cool, awesome. And Justin, what have you been watching? What you been playing, doing, all that sort of thing?
Well, haven't really had much opportunity to watch much other than Mandalorian. Been staying on top of that.
Yeah.
I did watch the 3rd episode of Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, cool.
Was
that the tattoo one?
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my gosh.
He's fantastic. I really love this perspective that he brings to like these sort of what would you call it? Like, I guess subgenre cultures or
even just, it's almost like facets of life.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And I guess it is life according to Jeff Goldblum. Anyways, I'm loving the show, and it's his personality really brings a lot, and I love his perspective into these things. Yeah. Even though obviously some of it is definitely written as like, here's some facts, because it is a National Geographic show, so there is going to be some factoids in all the episodes.
Right,
but
you're
just
still going to learn something.
Yeah, exactly. But the way he narrates those factoids and like how he brings his own personality through it, like I said in the last one, it's like it's more performance than it is like reading, which I could generally appreciate because he's bringing his own personality in it. So I definitely dug that. Mandalorian, we'll probably talk about that later in Watch Club. But other than that, I have been playing Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah. Haven't gotten too far.
How far? What percentage are you at?
I'm at 10%, and I've done 4 different planets.
Really?
It's pretty crazy. Like, I just finished where I get captured, and then I have like this big battle with all these different. Right. Like,
there's a moment where it's sort of
Attack of the Clones.
It feels very Attack of the Clones. Yeah. I mean, I think we mentioned that scene a few times in this podcast, but that Coliseum scene.
Yep. Where you're on show to like show your strength.
And what level of difficulty are you playing on?
I'm currently playing on story mode.
Story mode, right? Okay, yeah. I was on Jedi Knight, which is I guess like normal, and I had to. There was a few moments where I had to cut it back to story mode because it just was stopping the
game.
Be fun, you know?
Even you are having these troubles.
Yeah.
Because like my brother started it and he said, "Oh, you'll be fine on Jedi Knight." He was trying Jedi Master.
Yeah.
He's gotten about 10-15% of the way through the game like Justin and came back to me and was like, "Kev, do story mode. You will never be able to do anything any higher than that."
I've been like, the thing is that it is so vague on certain things, and the general consensus from reading online and watching other walkthroughs, because sometimes I get stuck and I have to watch these walkthroughs to be like, what am I missing here?
Yeah.
Like I'm at a spot and it's like they're giving you all of these like little clues and it's like I don't know exactly. One of them I was actually able just to do on my own because I figured it out from a past puzzle, if you will.
Right. So
it had similarities, so I figured that piece out. But it's just crazy how it's so vague on all of the missions and what you need to do and where things are.
Yeah. The map is not that
no,
great.
no,
Like the way
the
they're
map-
structured.
No, and like the fact that it's above ground and underground, and then there's like super underground, and then it's like you got to go through to figure out all these things. Like
Kevin's shaking his head.
It's pretty intense. I'm enjoying the world building to
Yeah.
it, and the narrative that you kind of unravel as you go. So I'm enjoying that. Other than that, just been editing. We've been editing our Frozen video. We've had a bit of a delay on that just because we haven't found the proper voice talent, but looks like we've got something lined up with someone, and that's probably going to come out this week. Next week. So probably by the time you're listening to this podcast, it still won't be out.
Right. Well,
But we're hoping for either Friday or sometime over the weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, the editing it's been smooth. We've had a couple things that Kevin and I have just been working through, like for animations and narrative, but it's coming along. It's going to be another Disney magical musical.
A Disney banger.
Very
Disney
cool.
banger.
Prepare to get the tune of "Let It Go" stuck in your head for 3 weeks
Amazing.
again.
I can't wait to hear what her name is Tanya.
Okay.
She's actually her and her partner are performers for kids.
Oh wow.
So they go to birthday parties. They have a YouTube channel.
Jeez.
So she's she was I was put in touch with her through another contact of ours.
Yeah.
And she seemed really excited about it.
Cool.
And she has the acting chops too. So
Awesome.
it's going to be really interesting to see how, with Kevin's lyrics, like
Yeah.
what he's written and her power of her voice, how it's going to turn out. I can't wait to hear that.
I pre-recorded the songs for her just to give her an essence of what I was thinking in terms of timing and stuff. I
Yeah.
cannot wait to hear somebody else sing these songs because it is so painful.
It's
I don't
so-
know
it's
so-
how
Hearing
Justin.
yourself?
I don't
Yeah.
know how Justin is sitting there editing, having to hear me
At one point,
butcher the lyrics
it's
over.
literally it's been hilarious.
But for now, that's I guess that production is frozen.
It is, yes.
good
Like,
one.
I've been thinking. I've been trying to think for the last 2 minutes of a joke. You got it. Good
Yeah,
for
there
you.
you go.
Good.
Very cool.
So I guess then it leads us to you, Nate. What you been up to?
Yeah, I mean, besides, I rolled credits on Jedi Fallen Order, so
Ooh,
finished the
congratulations.
storyline on it. Which, by the way, if you mentioned you're looking up some walkthroughs and things like that online, be very careful on YouTube. The ending is super easy to get spoiled for you. It was already spoiled for me.
Yeah, no, I know. I know what happened.
Oh, don't you dare say it.
Yeah. So
I was wondering though.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that was going to happen. So
just wait and see how it unfoils. But yeah, just be.
I think I
Unfoils?
just figured it out in my head, and it's awesome.
unfoils.
Unfoils.
Okay. Well,
Like a baked potato.
Okay, none of that has. Yes, the ending is that you enjoy a nice baked potato. No, I watched the morning show, the latest. Kept up with the morning show, and it's getting like really good.
Yeah, I've caught up on all of the Apple
Yeah.
TV Plus stuff as well.
It's so good. Like it's just like it's continuously keeping its quality. Like I haven't hit an episode of the morning show yet where I sort of felt, oh, that was kind of like a filler or a passable episode.
I kind of would say that the last one.
You think so?
was. Yeah, I think the one before it was a lot more powerful. This
The
one,
penultimate episode.
Yeah, did you see it?
No.
No.
How do you guys do this? Like, are you driving to work, watching stuff? Like, it's dangerous, guys.
I definitely. It's all about, I think, just making where time can be suited, right? So, like yesterday, I was going to, but then I was like, you know what, I should probably keep plowing through this editing. So I decided to do that, and I didn't game. But the day before, I gamed for 4 hours.
Right. So it all balances out. And then I got my hands on Google Stadia, which is Google's streaming video game platform. I had pre-ordered it like months ago, and it finally came in, and it's I don't know, it's not that good.
Is it better than Apple Arcade?
Well, it's so Google Stadia, for those who don't know, is it's essentially Google's sort of like, it's their streaming gaming platform, and I would almost say like Netflix, but with the difference being that you actually have to pay for the games along with the subscription. So you're subscribing to the platform, which
You're
is
literally subscribing for the right to buy stuff.
correct. But keep in mind the subscription is for the 4K version. If you want to play the streaming 1080p version, that's going to be free in next year in 2020.
Yeah, so then why wouldn't people just do that?
Well, I think that this is so. To be fair, I ordered the Founders Pack, which should have been called an early access, like a beta or something like that. But it's not. It's actually a full release, and it's supposed to be. It's their answer to the console without a console, right? The ability to play on your phone, on your computer at work, wherever you can access a Chrome browser, you can play these games. Unfortunately, the promise of Google Stadia was put out, and then I would say they've succeeded so far on maybe 10% of that promise. So, they mentioned, being able to stream anywhere. Well, it doesn't work yet on iPhone, right? It doesn't work on iPad.
Yeah.
It only works on their Google Pixel phone, right? So
that's a selling point, right?
Right, exactly. So it's like they're going to be on iOS eventually, but that's not going to be for the 3 months of Stadia Pro that I've bought with this Founders Pack.
I think
Apple, it's worth waiting.
Yeah. Oh, just wait.
I think Apple probably beat them to it, right?
In terms of a subscription service?
Well, a full package, right? Like,
sure.
Like the fact that with Apple, at least you can get, with the subscription access to all the games. You're not buying the games.
Yeah.
Right. And you can literally pick up on any of your devices.
Yeah. Like how much
Right.
is the Google?
So the Google Stadia monthly, I'm actually not sure, because it was like $120 something for the controller with 3 months of Stadia Pro. And then in Stadia Pro, you do get Destiny 2 and
so they have bigger name games.
Samurai Showdown. Yeah, absolutely. Like some of the games that you can buy on the platform, Red Dead Redemption 2, Cyberpunk is going to be coming out for it, right?
Okay.
So like this is a really
that's
cool...
why they're charging you for the games as well.
Right.
Right? Because like they can't just say, "Oh, it's a monthly subscription and you get all these games." Whereas Apple's like trying to pave the way for their own developers that are making games for their systems.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
But I mean, that's, you can get Apple TV and Arcade for what, $13 a month or so?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's again, it is one of those things where the only good thing I can say about it so far is that it actually works. I was playing, didn't notice too much lag. There were a few moments where, my internet speeds are actually pretty good, but I did notice a few moments where it sort of lagged or froze or what have you. But for the most part, it worked really well. I guess I haven't been able to really test it outside of my house on a Chromecast, right? So hopefully, we'll see it evolve. We'll see it get better. But for now, I would say if you're interested in streaming your video games through Google Stadia, hold off. It's not even worth it. So that is whatcha. We're going to switch things up a little bit. We're actually going to jump right into trailer time.
It's trailer time.
All right, so for our first trailer, we saw this is an interesting one, The Three Christs. This is directed by John Avnet, starring Richard Gere.
Where the heck has he been?
Right? Where is that guy?
He's been at the hamster store.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Store?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look into that when you
look into that story. In your spare time.
Gosh. Okay. And Peter Dinklage, Walton Goggins, whoop whoop, Bradley Whitford, which is awesome.
Another whoop whoop,
right? And Julia Margulies, and so this basically it's based on a true story. Apparently, it follows three paranoid schizophrenic patients at the Ypsilanti State Hospital in Michigan who believe that they are Jesus Christ. And so Richard Gere plays this doctor that wants to see what happens when we put them, all three of them, into a room at the same time. It sounds kind of like a sick joke at first, but then as you watch the trailer, like it obviously is going to be pretty heartfelt. So what do you guys think?
Looks interesting. Looks very interesting. I'm more intrigued the fact that Richard Gere has just come out of the dark and out of the shadows and is in a movie.
Like, what was the last thing that he was in? Like, I'll look it up.
It looks like a tremendous movie to make your comeback, if you will. You know, like it looks like a nice role for him to sort of.
And is this in Oscar contendancy?
I don't.
January 3rd, 2020?
That's why I asked when it's coming out, because it looks like it could be an Oscar contender. But if they're putting it out like a week after the eligibility ends,
yes,
that means it's junk.
Yeah. Unless of course it does release, like unless the date that we see is like a major release.
Right, and they sneak one out.
You're actually right, because according to IMDb, so the last movie he was in 2017 called The Dinner. And then before that he played Norman Oppenheimer in a biopic in 2016. But Three Christ, according to IMDb, is showing as 2017. As far as him in the movie. So I guess maybe it was an earlier release, like.
So then it 100% will not be in contention.
Well, then I guess right. So if it hasn't already,
with a cast like that,
what
went wrong in that movie?
I think it was an IFC film, which is they're predominantly known for doing more foreign sort of like financing of films. So they they'll do East Asian, they'll do European. So and that always finds its way over into the U.S. in some capacity or another. It looks interesting. Looks like, I don't know if I'll go see it.
Yeah.
I'll probably wait to see what reviews say and then maybe stream it.
Right. Yeah. I just like Peter Dinklage, Walton Goggins, and Bradley Whitford, like all vying for being Jesus Christ. Like it just seems like those.
Take my money.
Phenomenal, like character actors. Like we've talked about Walton Goggins in the past from when he's on The Righteous Gemstones, and so to see him in this kind of it's pretty cool to see these three in the same scenes. Just not something I would expect. So it's refreshing. And yeah, we'll see how Richard Gere does on January 3rd, 2020. Our next trailer that we took a look at is Antebellum. This is directed by Gerard Bush and Christopher Renz. It's from the producers of Get Out. What did you guys think of this trailer, Antebellum, in terms of didn't really give anything away?
Is it a remake?
Kevin, you mentioned that you thought that it might have, you've heard the name
I thought
before.
I heard it attached to somebody, either a director or a writer, but...
Yeah, Antebellum. Or maybe, like, is there like a punk rock?
Well, Antebellum is in reference to a period of time, I believe, in the during the American Civil War or during slavery,
which makes sense because I think that this is going to have.
I just don't know how many commercial airliners flew over the fields.
Well, so this is what I'm saying, right? So you get that scene of them. They're obviously in some sort of cotton field or something like that, and you see these slaves, and they look up and they see a plane flying through. That, by the way, that plane moment. I got lost vibes.
Super losty vibes. Oh, Lindelof reference of the episode, folks.
But yeah, no. For those who might not have seen the trailer, the description that I got off IMDb: successful author Veronica finds herself trapped in a horrifying reality and must uncover the mind-bending mystery before it's too late.
Well, I thought what was interesting is that like you're watching this like what looks to be period piece footage, and then you're hearing a 911 call.
Yeah.
Right. So. There is this sort of displacement of time. Yeah. So that part was a little like it's intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can all agree with trailers, the less information that's given to you, the better it is, because then you're more intrigued with what that movie's going to be about.
What don't people who cut these trailers together get, that I'm more intrigued and more willing to go find out what something's about than if you feel the need to tell me the whole bloody story, then what do I even need to go see it?
That character dies in the movie, or Keanu Reeves is in the movie.
Yeah. So I think they've done a really great job with this trailer, at least in going, I'm
intrigued enough that I do want to see it.
Yeah. I'm very interested. And I mean, from the producers of Get Out, like it's a pretty good track record there, right? So Yeah, I've never heard of Gerard Bush or Christopher Renz in terms of what they might have done in the past, but no, I think this looks cool, looks mind bending, looks freaky, looks scary at times. I'm down. I'm interested to see. I'm wondering though, like another trailer comes out, do we watch it or do we not? You know, do we want to maybe leave it at that, right? So
I'll let you watch it and then tell me if it gives anything away. Thanks in advance.
Sure thing. This next trailer that we watched, much to Kevin's dismay, was Cats. This is the latest trailer for Cats that dropped. But directed by Tom Hopper, starring everybody: Taylor Swift, Idris Elba, Ian McKellen, Judi Dench, Rebel Wilson, Francesca Hayward, James Corden, and Jennifer Hudson.
Did you say Taylor Swift?
And Taylor Swift. Yeah, I did say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, not too long to wait now. December.
I said I didn't want to see this, and you said, really? So I got to ask you, you want to see this?
Well, okay.
Are you a fan of musicals? First question.
First off, absolutely. I've never actually seen Cats.
I have. I saw it I went on a high school trip to London.
Okay.
And they took us to see Cats. Of all the bloody shows we could have seen, Cats. And that alone made me not want to see it.
Yeah.
But now this is the aesthetic they've chosen. Listen, if I wanted to see a bunch of hairy, naked people dancing around, I'd go to a nude beach in Italy. Because this looks
yeah.
I don't want to see Judi Dench dancing around in a naked human hairy body.
Well, yeah.
And they're going to take off clothes and be naked.
But are they naked? Because their fur is
I don't. It's awful.
Well, I think the idea too, the play itself also created sort of weirdness to it.
Yeah.
Right? Like
when
giant people dressed as cats.
People were freaking out about it.
Right. At first. But like then, obviously the music and the story and all of these things and how the production is. But, I'm big on a play should be a play.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I think can find its way
into cinema. Yeah.
I'm wondering if this was one that would have been better as just left as a play rather than it being pushed into like the cinematic world.
I guess for me, maybe it's just the musical performances is what I was kind of looking forward to.
But then re-release do a new production of Cats with those people.
Right. I mean,
that would have been far more interesting.
Well, I don't think you could get all those people to commit to doing.
I don't know. Like, look at The Little Mermaid, right? Like,
so you're saying a one-time big on-stage production that you film?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That might have been a better way to go about it.
I just don't like these CGI bodies and faces on. Man,
I'm intrigued enough that I don't know if the reviews are good for it. I might want.
The reviews are going to be great because they literally from what I've heard from people that have seen the play.
Yeah.
Because I unfortunately never did, but
not unfortunate. Don't worry.
But what a lot of people are saying is that it looks to be very much a recreation of that.
Yeah.
People love Tom Hooper's work. Like,
what else has he done?
He does he did Les Miserables.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So did he do Phantom of the Opera?
I mean, the King's Speech was really good.
Yeah.
Stick to. I don't like musicals.
Yeah.
And I don't think they need
and
to be movies.
The James Corden line at the end where he's like. He starts hissing and stuff like that,
and licking himself.
Right,
it's so slapsticky.
And it felt that to me was like, is that James Corden riffing? Like, is that actually how the writing's going to be in the movie?
And it's Rebel Wilson smacking herself in the face,
right? For the umpteenth time.
Like,
how many times have we seen? Yeah. No, I mean, this trailer kind of made me not want to see it as much, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one to see if it's...
I hope it bombs. I don't usually wish ill will towards movies, but I hope this one bombs.
I hope it's the perfect movie to go see on December 20th. Next up, we've got... Actually, I think this is our last trailer. Avenue 5 on HBO.
Hell yeah, where did this one come from?
Yeah,
it's sick.
It's interesting. I was scrolling through trailers and scrolling, and I was trying to find stuff, and I just saw this... I saw Hugh Laurie... as a space captain, and I was like, what is that? And then in the moment I saw HBO, I stopped watching the trailer and then waited to watch it with you guys because this looks really cool. So it's Hugh Laurie, Susie Nakamura, who's from we've actually seen her recently on Silicon Valley. She plays the HR representative on Silicon Valley,
and I think in this movie too, it looks
HR.
very much like a similar role.
Well, so it's actually not a movie; it's a series on HBO, I believe. with Josh Gad and Zach Woods, also from Silicon Valley, and Rebecca Front. This is following Space Captain Ryan Clark of the Avenue 5 as he tries to get along with the others in the space tourism industry.
It basically looks like a cruise ship in space, you know?
It looks like a better version of like the Orville.
Thank you.
Right?
That's what I was going to say.
Like so many people have been like, dude, you have to watch past the first 5 episodes of the Orville. I'm telling you, it's fantastic. I don't understand. I can't get into it. But watching this trailer and then like seeing that it's from HBO, I'm like, this might be the right way to go about it. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Not much interest on that side of the table.
I think it's they pulled together a good cast.
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie, I miss him from the House days.
Yeah.
So it's good to see him back in the acting chops.
Yeah.
But HBO, I don't know if the trailer really did much for me.
Okay. Maybe wait for the next one.
Well, just wait for the show.
Yeah.
Like, for me, at least, it's
January.
I would like to exactly. I would like to see what this show's about.
Mm-hmm.
They have like
really those 3 letters don't have you convinced that it's going to be good? HBO doesn't.
No. I do think it's going to be good, but it's just like I don't think the trailer really did anything for me.
Cool. Well, I mean, we don't have too long to wait until we watch that one, but yeah, I'm interested to see Hugh Laurie again, kind of spearheading a show. Cool. Well, that is it for trailer time. We're going to move into the news.
It's all about the details.
All right. So for our first news story, we now know the culprit behind who leaked the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker script. This from Dirk Libby over at CinemaBlend, who reports, earlier this week, we learned that the script for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker ended up on eBay and had to be purchased back by Disney to avoid the script getting out. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, I heard about it, but it didn't leak. It was the fact that the person, the culprit, left it in their room under the bed, and then someone was cleaning the room and found the script under the bed.
But then they decided to post and sell it on eBay?
Yeah.
Well, of course you're going to get caught.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Unless that thing got swept up and,
But why wouldn't you immediately like take that and start making multiple copies? That I don't know. Did you guys figure out who? Or
well,
did you guys
I had a suspicion of who it was going to be, and it ended up being true.
Yeah, John Boyega was the culprit.
He's the most likely one for sure. He would seem like the kind of guy who would just be
so chill with it, right?
Yeah, just chill, or he just misplaced it, and you know what I mean. Like it's just like, oh, it's maybe I left it on set. That's where it is, and literally it's
with
under
all
his bed.
the non-disclosures and all these things. You would be like carrying that around on your person.
Is he not planning on working with Disney anymore, or like or Lucasfilm? Like, what is he like done? Like I'm like. To be able to mess that up, but yeah, he was on GMA and he's like, yeah, some of my my boys came over and we we got to partying and it's just like
so see that's perfect. Like that's the exact example that I was expecting. Is like I was hanging out with some friends and just one thing led to the other and I was leaving and I completely forgot my script.
How much did Disney end up having to pay for it?
Well, this is the best part is that the script was listed on eBay. I guess the person that found it had no idea what they were doing because it was listed on eBay for £65.
Oh my goodness!
And it makes sense because
I could have owned the script.
And then did it start a bidding war, or
it started to, and then Disney came in with a cease and desist and stopped that.
Okay.
So I don't even know if they had to pay the £65.
You think if you could prove that you were buying back stolen property, you wouldn't end up having to pay.
No, you wouldn't have to pay for it. But I think it's funny too is that like it was on eBay and they probably reacted. But I wonder how many people would have looked at it and been like, "That's a fake."
Yeah.
Who's trying to pawn off some?
Especially at that price.
You're going to spend £65 just to get a script, and then it's the script, and then what if you read it and it's like, but this doesn't happen. Why is this person here? Right. So
Anakin Skywalker is the first person to talk in the script, and you're like, what's going? Nah. But like maybe who knows? I think the first word was given out on one of the late night talk shows. It was, I think the first word is that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
And why people get so excited for the first word, friggin' word.
Come on, man! I'm already who said it? Where are they saying it? Ooh, no.
Thanks a lot, John Boyega, for almost ruining
Less than a month.
Star Wars. We're less than a month away.
We're like 24 days, I think. Oh no, less than. What are we? The 18th? No, we'll see it the 19th.
Yeah. And
So,
the interesting part is
23
they
days.
just finally wrapped filming. So
No, they just wrapped. They wrapped post.
Or sorry, they wrapped post production. So it's done.
Just now.
Just like a couple
23
days ago.
days from release.
Yeah, but
that
that-
seems pretty close.
Dude,
no?
there's movies that wrap post production like a week or less
Really?
before it's actually
That's crazy.
circulated.
How many like 24-hour days are going on
But
in that situation?
Yeah.
You know, you're working literally every hour of every day to make sure you get that sucker done.
this movie definitely had the wiggle room, though. It wasn't like The Force Awakens, which was like smash, smash, smash. We got to get this out kind of thing. They had sort of leeway time.
Right.
They did reshoots back in October, and then that wrapped pretty quickly. So for them to be complete and post production is done, and maybe it's just visual effects stuff or sound stuff. And
I hope so.
The
'Cause
last
people
little
were talking
bits
about reshoots and
Well, yeah, reshoots aren't a bad thing though. Everyone
Right.
freaks out about reshoots. It comes down to like, with Rogue One,
Yeah.
when they had to do reshoots, it was like 60% of the movie or 40% of the movie.
Yeah.
One of the two. But like that's a lot of reshoots. That's like, okay, there's a problem with the story. We need to reshoot it. Whereas like, oh, you know what? This scene didn't work out. Let's add that to our reshoot list so we can kind of round that out.
That's
Okay,
always
let's do that.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what reshoots are for. They're
Yeah.
always built into schedules.
I mean, have you guys like read anything about potential spoilers?
I haven't. I've stayed away.
I try to, and then
Yeah.
I look at them, and
No, 'cause-
some of the things I've heard, it better not be true.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. I did that for The Force Awakens, and I was just like, no. Like, Han Solo is the dad of Rey, and I'm like, immediately, and I was like, no. But yeah, it's got a. They actually came in with the runtime. Finally announced is 141 minutes.
2 hours and 35.
Is that? I guess that's how that works.
It's the longest one.
Well, apparently no. Apparently the longest one is Jedi. Or sorry, The Last Jedi, at 152 minutes. So apparently this is shorter.
Because
It's the shorter
that's 2.5 hours there.
Right.
141 would be 2 hours and 21 minutes.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Okay.
well, because
okay.
you're right, Justin. That was the time that was originally
I
put
see.
out by John Williams' brother or something like that, who
Yeah.
announced that. But no, Abrams was in an interview and he said himself. So yeah. So I mean, add that on to our marathon of movies that we're going to be watching, and we'll know how much sleep we have. To
5 p.m. on December 19th. We'll be
That's it.
watching this movie.
So
And we'll instantly be posting spoilers. No.
immediately, all to YouTube. No. So our next news story. I know everyone has been starved for Baby Yoda merch, and Baby Yoda merch is officially here. And unlike Baby Yoda, it's terrible. This from Vinny Mancuso from Collider. He writes, Baby Yoda merch is now available and it sucks mudhorn eggs. In a whopper of a decision, Disney and Lucasfilm opted to sort of just slap recently released concept art onto whatever, because it seems even a mega corporation has to hire the local t-shirt shop to kind of crop the art it had lying around in time for Christmas.
Can I get a set of golf balls with that picture on it? Order me one of those.
Right? Like,
I'll take a mouse pad too. Thank you.
it seems like that's what they've got on. Like, we were looking at the images for this, and it's just like, what? Like, are we? Do you want any of that stuff?
Well, I
want all of the Baby Yoda merch except for that crap.
No, but I think they're just. It's very clear
Yeah.
that they didn't really anticipate the popularity of Baby Yoda being such a high desirable merch.
It's nuts.
Well, it's crazy how big it's gotten, but they're also trying to capitalize on Christmas.
Well, hold on a second.
But like I was going to bring this up in our in
Watch Club?
but I think we'll talk about it now just because it's so relevant. Like, it's so crazy how popular this character is, and people are kind of hypocrites. Hey, what do you think about the Ewoks? Oh, they're nothing but toy selling crap. Oh, and the Porgs, that's just a new version.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at Baby Yoda. I want to buy all of the Baby Yoda stuff. And it's like, wait a minute, don't you hate Ewoks?
It's true.
But Disney, the merchandise king, Star Wars, the ultimate merchandising property, and they did not expect this.
So hold on. So
they should have had toys and.
But hold on. Do you think Disney failed with this rollout, or are you maybe impressed that they believe so heavily in keeping Baby Yoda a secret for the sake of storytelling?
Well,
like, was this Jon Favreau being like, please, Disney,
You don't have to.
please."
They didn't have to pre-release it, but they should have been ready for it.
But
Better
if they
than
were-
some
you know-
half-assed
But you know,
T-shirts.
if they were making
That stuff
something,
leaks.
that stuff would have leaked. 100%. Like, that's how we found, like, all the Lego sets that get leaked that we know about certain scenes and things from upcoming Star Wars films. Like, that's that would have happened. There would have been a little Baby Yoda something that would have leaked out, and people would have been freaking out then and not at the time of the release.
If that's the case, then I understand.
But I think this really just comes down to one thing. To your point, they didn't reveal it, right? They kept it a secret. And now that people are all gung-ho about this Baby Yoda, they're like, oh, well, it's Christmas. It's going to be busy shopping period time. We should get some merch out. Like, people are going to want this stuff, right?
But I just think they should have known this and been ready for it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean to say that, like, they don't have plans for, like, in the new year for merch, right? Like, I can...
we're going to see more things.
I'm stoked to see a Funko Pop of
Baby
Funko
Yoda.
Pop, sure. My favorite concept so far, it actually came from an artist... Jared Maruyama.
Oh, yeah.
We've done a couple fun boxings with his hipster Mickey and Minnie products.
Yep.
And he did this concept for a balloon.
Yeah.
And so you would have the egg
Okay.
with the back and everything, and then the front would be clear.
Yeah.
And there'd be a Baby Yoda inflated inside of it.
That's pretty impressive.
So you're literally walking around with the egg floating beside.
Get that to Disney
There
World
would be
right
100,000 of those in the park every single day.
now. Absolutely.
Like, that was the coolest thing I've seen.
That's
but
awesome.
Now let's get some drone technology and give me a plastic floating bloody Baby Yoda that I can just walk around with me.
Or even just like a floating magnetized desk toy. I mean, it's all going to be here, you know?
Yep.
But I did find it interesting, the marketing for this, though, that they, on their official website, it's revealed as the child merchandise. So it's like, they're not even calling it Baby Yoda because it's not Yoda, or it can't be Yoda. And then not only that, but
Can't?
Yoda. Well,
We just don't know
Yoda.
yet.
Right.
We don't
Can't
know
be
yet.
Yoda.
But you can't classify it as Baby Yoda if that's where you're going.
correct.
with it,
Right.
That's
and
true.
then not only that, though, but like Yoda's species hasn't been revealed, so they can't call it, a baby Gooblar or whatever baby
Right.
Yoda.
Whatever they end up calling this thing, though,
Yeah.
unless it gets a name,
Yeah.
it's never going to be the Baby Gooblar. It's never going to be the child.
Right.
Nobody will ever call this thing anything but Baby Yoda until it gets an actual physical name. Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I think looking at it, the Mandalorian, the Client, the Child, like these naming
That
conventions
works.
are
Okay.
seeming to work
Okay.
quite well in the show. And maybe even though Pedro Pascal revealed the Mandalorian's name, which for spoilers I won't divulge, but do you know what it is? Din.
Yeah. I
I'll
saw
just say
it
whatever.
online.
Din Djarin. Maybe he's never called that, right? Maybe he is just the Mandalorian. Maybe he is just the child. But we'll talk a little bit more about the Mandalorian in our watch club. But let's get to our next news story. Elizabeth Banks is set to direct and star in Invisible Woman for Universal. This from Justin Kroll over at Variety, who writes, Elizabeth Banks is set to direct and star in Invisible Woman for Universal, which is based on her own pitch. Plot details are kept under wraps, but sources say Banks's pitch is very different from The Invisible Man, which is coming out in February, that stars another Elizabeth Moss, and apparently there's no crossover potential on either film. So what do you guys think? Is this the right direction to go with these licenses now that these movies aren't going to be part of an interconnected universe from Universal?
I think it's telling that the pitch must have gone well.
Yeah.
And I think to hear that there's not going to be a crossover, that's because The Invisible Man is going to suck.
Oh no.
And it's going to be garbage.
We
Come
talked
on.
about that trailer.
Yeah, it's not going to be very
a couple
good.
episodes ago. Yeah.
But so if they're, they've made this movie, they've put it out, and then all of a sudden she comes to them with this wholly original and completely, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll do that too. I think it speaks to the potential quality of this pitch.
Yeah.
And the fact that this Invisible Man is going to suck.
Yeah.
It's just going to be another crappy generic horror movie. Whereas this being completely different, I think I can see it having a lighter, almost dark comedy spin on it versus a pure crappy stock horror movie.
Right, because not only are they making this movie in lieu of the fact that other one is coming out, but yeah, to your point, if there's no crossover potential, then obviously they like to make money, so they would have had that happen if they believed that The Invisible Man was actually good.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? Like, they wanted to do this whole dark universe thing, and they set it up with the Tom Cruise Mummy film, which was like a bombshell, was like absolutely horrible. And I think that they just took a different direction. They have all these properties under their belt, and they're not doing anything with it. Yeah. So they're just rotating them out. They're handing them off to filmmakers that they have, and they're saying, okay, screw this dark universe idea. Let's just go back to telling these individual stories about these iconic horrific characters.
Yeah.
Right. Like I think there's talks of a Frankenstein film.
Yeah, I think I've heard about that
yes.
as well.
And a Wolfman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like those are like, that would have been amazing if they did The Mummy well, and Wolfman and Frankenstein.
Well, yeah,
and
we
Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, I think is
There's a Dracula's henchman
Dracula
film called Renfield, which is actually from the Rocketman director Dexter Fletcher. So I mean,
but to your point,
Yeah.
Justin, you said like they're like, I think you're very right in the sense that with Invisible Man, they're like, we just need somebody to give us an Invisible Man script so we can make this movie. Where it almost sounds like Elizabeth Banks came up with the idea and brought it to them.
Yeah, that's true.
Which I think, that's how you make good stuff. You don't force ideas. You have ideas come to you. Good ideas that somebody comes up with, not because they have to and it's a gig. It's because it's a genuine idea that they have in their head that then they, present to you.
right.
Like all of these, okay, we need a Star Wars trilogy, So you're going to be the director. You have a year to write the script and film it. Let's go.
Yeah.
You're like, no, wait till somebody like Jon Favreau comes to you and goes, I want to make this bounty hunter show.
Yeah.
That's where good content comes from.
Seems like it. And I mean, as far as like these solo, non-interconnected movies, it seems to make sense for like, we're watching, we talked a little bit in our last episode about the Joker and how, DC keeps wanting to make, with the new Batman movie being an ensemble film of all these villains, they keep wanting to make these ensemble or these team up movies. So Universal's probably looking at that and saying, nah.
Yeah, exactly. They're taking a look at what everyone else is doing and saying, well, what is that really the right way for us to approach it? Like maybe we just take a different step because, it's not all about doing ensemble universe building sort of stuff.
Yeah, it can't be.
It can't all be that way.
What
right?
I find most surprising is that given what happened with Charlie's Angels, a wholly, Elizabeth Banks production, from writing, directing, starring in, that instantly they're announcing this big Elizabeth Banks project. It's, it's just, I find that quite surprising, and it's nice to see that that this Charlie's Angel thing didn't destroy her career.
Well, it seems like she needs a win right now.
Yes.
So this is definitely
Because that it tanked, right? Like it
$10 million in the opening weekend,
which is like, I don't even understand how, as a production company, you've invested probably anywhere between 150 to $200 million for this movie.
Yeah.
And only to get a return of $10 million on opening weekend.
It'll probably come in worldwide once all is said and done at 30.
Yeah.
Like 30 is going to be a huge disaster.
Yeah.
This movie was nowhere.
It sounds to me like, I mean, again, from what we've seen in it, the marketing was just
it was
terrible.
Non-existent essentially, that which did exist didn't sell me on it.
I remember that. I think the three of us went and saw a movie. I can't remember which one, but that trailer played, and we literally at the end of it all looked at each other and been like, "What a hot piece of garbage that was!"
Yeah.
It just was so over the top and just too so typical of that kind of movie. If Elizabeth Banks is coming in to do Invisible Woman with a new approach, a new concept, all power to her. I'm look forward to seeing what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
But that was definitely not what was brought to Charlie's Angels. And I haven't seen the movie, and now I do want to see it just to see how horrible it is to solidify exactly my statement of it looked like crap.
Well, speaking of terrible marketing campaigns, I thought maybe for this week's topic of the show, we do something a little bit different. So first, let's move into this week's topic of the show. It's time for the topic of the show. So for this week's topic of the show, I thought we would maybe take a look at our top 3 favorite marketing campaigns. Given that the marketing for Charlie's Angels, as we said, was not great, that there was a huge missed opportunity there. It kind of got me thinking about maybe some ideas for topic of the show this week being, our top 3 favorite marketing campaigns that really stuck with us, that really sort of resonated with us and either made us want to buy the thing, watch the thing, or have anything to do with the thing that it's marketing. So we're going to kind of go maybe around the table for this discussion. I would love to start with the Crumpet Killer, Kevin.
Oh, sorry, I'm just finishing the crumpet here.
Enjoy.
I want to give honorable mention because I was trying to get some ideas to sort of make me go, oh yeah, that was good or that was good. So I found out about Psycho and how Hitchcock so brilliantly marketed this movie.
It's a cool story.
Just the way he knew he had an incredible twist that he didn't want to get spoiled.
Right.
And so, to keep the fact that his lead character was going to die 25 minutes into the movie, a real shock for those seeing it.
Yeah.
He had script secrecy, prevented media appearances and all that sort of thing. And not only did it preserve the secret, but it built up this overwhelming hype. And, people just needed to see what was so secretive and why he was being so secretive about this movie. And it ended up building up the mystique of the movie before it even came out. And then, of course, it delivered on that. And, audiences watching it, not imagine seeing that movie and not knowing what happens in the shower scene.
Yeah.
It would have, not only would it have been horrifying,
Right.
but it would have been shocking as hell.
And how many people would be talking about it afterwards,
You
right?
know, like it was, so I just thought that was a really cool, brilliant strategy on his part to do that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about how movie trailers giving stuff away, right? Like, he intentionally kept this as a way to sort of get people talking, and yeah, I think that's a good one.
But so my number 3. Sorry,
that was your honorable
That was my honorable
Okay.
mention. Number 3 is a lot more personal. Obviously, I wasn't around for the Psycho marketing.
You weren't? I mean, you're pretty old.
Yeah, okay, there. So I went with Phantom Menace.
Oh, cool.
Being a 13, 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I had just gone and seen all the re-releases over the last 2 or 3 years in theaters.
Yeah.
And I was ready for this movie. So, I mean, doing the re-releases, one every 6 months or whatever it was, leading up into a new Star Wars movie.
Smart.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you started seeing the toys on the shelves about a month or 2 out.
Yeah.
And it was like, what is that pod racer thing? And who is this Jar Jar Binks character? And this Darth Maul guy
How
looks
stoked
cool.
were you for Jar Jar Binks?
I was okay. I didn't know.
He's the next Chewbacca.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was like, for me and Justin, it was going to Taco Bell and Pizza Hut, collecting these plastic cups with giant characters on them.
Yeah.
I don't know where those went, man. For the collector that I am, and I don't have those anymore, it's devastating to me. But like, that got us into it.
Yeah.
And then Justin waiting in line outside of the theater and like a month before the movie came out to get tickets or whatever it was, like all of those elements built together
Right.
to create a hype I haven't felt for a movie until Force Awakens.
Yeah.
So that's like my nostalgic marketing,
Yeah, and I think to Lucasfilm's credit and Fox's credit, like the fact that they were able to build up that same or similar level of hype, I would say, for Force Awakens in a world where we've got like the internet. Like, looking back, obviously we had the internet when Episode 1 came out, but it was just there. I don't remember. It wasn't as prevalent.
Well, the internet just wasn't as accessible. I remember like dial up and stuff like that. Yeah, it just wasn't. It wasn't as immediate, right?
No, it was you.
The first
you could
trailer.
go onto the internet for half an hour when your mom let you, and you would go into your computer room to go onto the
Not an
computer.
office.
not walking down the street watching something.
I remember downloading the first, like not downloading, but trying to stream. I think Episode 1, the trailer, on a dial-up connection, and it was such a pain, and I had to leave it. I'm pretty sure that was Episode 1, but it was. I just remember having to wait for it to finish, so I could actually watch it in full. But yeah, you're right. Like, the internet just wasn't as accessible. It wasn't as fast. It wasn't as immediate. It was still something that was new at the time that Phantom Menace came out.
Yeah, so they did it in other ways. They did it in again through merchandising, and we've talked Star Wars merchandising. Where the hell are the Baby Yoda toys? You dummies!
Still bugging them.
You know, when we think about it too, is like they really did rely heavily on like television, right? Like, even now when they do the television spots, like for how they did with Rise of Skywalker, they've done it actually for all of them, Last Jedi and the Force Awakens. It's always the Monday Night Football trailer reveal,
Right.
A reason to get people to tune in.
Yeah.
I remember on Fox they did that a couple times on like, the Sunday nights when they had the most audience watching like Simpsons and King of the Hill and all those things. They would they would do, oh, stay tuned for an exclusive first look at The Phantom Menace, right? So that was kind of like the way that you got your trailers, right?
Yeah.
And your marketing. So it's interesting to see how we've evolved.
I
so
miss
much.
it. I kind of miss that, the going to a movie theater and not knowing what we're going to see.
Yeah.
Justin, what is your number 3 marketing campaign?
I would say my number 3 is Cabin in the Woods.
Oh, okay. Explain.
I thought that movie was sold in a way that it was very much a haunted house horror film.
Yeah.
But obviously when you go and watch the movie, it has those elements,
right?
But it's not entirely that. We've talked about this.
Yeah. In our
detail.
Halloween
yeah,
episode.
and when you mentioned the topic, that was one of the movies that stood out where it was just sold differently.
Yeah.
And the
similar to
marketing,
what you were saying with Psycho.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
The misdirect.
Yeah.
It's a misdirect. So to me, that's what good marketing is.
Yeah.
Well, and I think the marketing for that also benefited from, even though the movie was made before Thor, it came out after Thor. And so you had a name in that movie, which really helped people.
Yeah,
I'll
that
go see that
connected.
Chris
Yeah.
Hemsworth horror movie or whatever,
Right.
Be
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
cool.
Yeah, there you go. Right, like you enough right there.
Yeah.
But even though, like, let's say they didn't have Chris Hemsworth, and they still went on the plan of like really just selling this as like a very typical sort of take on a horror trope, if you will.
Yeah.
You go into the theater and you see those elements and you get into that, and then it just unravels to become something entirely different. I thought that was really smart.
It was refreshing.
Yeah, it is, and I was pleasantly surprised. Yeah. I think that was what really stood out to me. Because I was surprised by it.
Well, when you mentioned the concept of misdirection in marketing, I immediately think of the Avengers. Right. And seeing scenes in the trailer that we never actually got, or, even in, we talk about Rogue One getting those reshoots and where did those scenes go? Right. So just as far as the right way to misdirect your audience, I think you're absolutely right. I think Cabin in the Woods killed it. My number 3 marketing campaign would have to be for Pokemon, the first movie. You guys talked about getting the opportunity to go to Taco Bell and collect the characters on the cups and things like that. I thought that the gold Pokemon cards. Did you guys ever pick any of those up?
I've got a page or two in my card binder.
Right. So there were these gold, solid, not solid gold, but they were gold plated.
Oh, I didn't get any
Yeah.
of those.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You're
So,
the
and
ultimate
I've actually,
card collector. Yeah.
I've got a few of them in my house somewhere. But they're these gold plated Pokemon cards that I remember going to Taco Bell and thinking or I don't even know I think it was Taco Bell, going there and thinking how are they doing this? How are they giving away gold? It doesn't make any sense. And I was obviously I'm a little kid, right? So I don't really know that it's not real gold, but I'm it's so heavy. It feels like real. It's gold. How this is going to be worth so much money. So I remember going to try to collect them and get them. And that was such a good moment. And beyond that, even just we went and saw Detective Pikachu. And when we saw Detective Pikachu at a lot of theaters, they were giving away Pokemon cards. And I remember for one of my birthdays, I had stood up in front of my entire class and announced to my class, all of you are invited to my birthday. And I didn't tell my parents that this was happening. And they found out from a parent that asked them about it 2 days before or a day before. And so they were not expecting for all these cars to show up with all these little kids to have to plan this huge party. And God bless my parents. They knocked it out of the park.
They did it, eh?
Pokemon, the first movie, I told everyone that's what we were going to go see. So they found a way to get us to our local theater in Aurelia to go see it. And they handed out these ancient Mew cards. And
I still have that one.
Right?
Yep, I still have that one. Because one of my brothers had their birthday party at the movie. Yeah.
Exactly,
yeah.
Right? And so the theater attendant was awesome. They gave out, one with every little snack pack that the kids got, right? But my favorite moment, and this is probably where this marketing campaign sort of sticks with me in terms of giveaways and, additional Pokemon things. All the kids go home. I open the last gift. A phenomenal birthday. I really struck gold by inviting my entire class to my birthday party.
I had one of those, yeah.
Right? Yeah. And my dad says, you know what, buddy, I got one more thing for you. And he comes out with a grocery bag filled with these ancient Mew cards. I guess they had leftovers that the theater gave them to give out, and he just kept all of them.
Nice.
So, like, to be fair, all the kids got them, but I got 40 of them. So it was a fantastic moment.
And
so,
do you have any left?
I have a few left.
Nice.
I have a few left. Yeah.
You got to find me one of those gold ones. I want to see that.
After we're done recording,
Nice.
I can show it to you. Absolutely.
Nice.
Kevin, what is your number 2 marketing campaign?
So this one's a little bit more recent. I think Deadpool had some of the best marketing like out there.
Oh, yeah.
Like that movie it killed it. From the billboard with the the skull, the poop emoji, and the L.
So good. It's
then
like
they
Deadpool wrote the marketing campaign himself.
essentially because it was so fourth wall breaking, in your face, and it was like we'd never really had so much fun with a character that would do that with us. And there's all the holiday marketing they did for basically a year.
Yeah.
Started with an April Fool's one. Then they had a Mother's Day one, the mother effer. They had one for Halloween. They did one for Thanksgiving where he's lying, very sexy Jeff Goldblum on the table,
Right.
get stuff. Christmas, they released a 69-minute long video of a burning bag of poop and called it the Pool Log.
unreal.
Valentine's Day, and they released all these Nicholas Sparks style posters.
Yeah.
So that was amazing. They did like a leaked script that Deadpool had obviously gotten, and he was doing his own rewrites on it and everything
good.
like that. Like it was
so smart.
And they did it for a year, basically. Right up until the trailer where he's sitting on the bridge. And
How much do you think Ryan Reynolds had to do with some of those?
I think he had a lot to do with it.
Well, it recently came out in the news that part of the reason why the director left Deadpool 2 was because of the control that Ryan Reynolds had over
really?
Deadpool, and he really was. He holds the character
Was
close
that
to him.
Miller?
Yes.
Yeah.
And who's also now gone on a rant about working with James Cameron for Terminator. So,
Oh, jeez.
because he did Terminator, if I'm not the new one.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So he left that and then went to do Terminator. But anyways, I think you're right. The marketing campaign felt more as if it was derived from Deadpool. Like he was marketing. The
He
movie.
was. I'm going to make
the
him.
one. And that's
I've got a
that-
10% stake in this movie, and I'm going to make my money.
And that's perfect because of who his character is
Yeah.
and how he is in the movie. It makes sense, and that's good marketing. When you can kind of pull in those eccentric sort of elements from your film and then incorporate it into the marketing that helps push it in the right direction. I think that's
it wasn't that
strong.
It wasn't the generic comic book movie poster and trailer that's just music and it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And made you want to go see it. And isn't that the point?
That's the whole point.
Yep.
Very cool. Justin, what is your number 2?
My number 2 is actually, I don't know if you could classify it as one film, but it would be the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Every single movie, if you think about it, is part of a larger marketing campaign.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like a lot of people talk about like Avengers, the success of Avengers,
Right.
this onslaught film with all these characters. Now, if they had started with that,
It would have been Justice League.
yeah, exactly. It would have been something more like Justice League. But the reality is that you've established Iron Man, you've established Captain America, Thor, Incredible Hulk as well. Throughout all the movies before Avengers, you've been slowly marketing towards this ensemble cast film. So I think that the movie itself, Avengers, was sold as a very, like, the marketing for it was very traditional, right? But if we think about the bigger picture, all the movies that have kind of led to these ensembles, they've all served as a piece of marketing to help push that. And even if we look at now the more recent ones like Infinity War and Endgame leading into those films, again, you could easily say that all of those films are marketed to help push towards this big ensemble story.
And that's not to say that they aren't like that they were made for the purpose of getting to those big movies, but they end up serving as that along the way.
Oh yeah, and they took their time, right?
Yeah, thankfully.
Well, because 2008 was when Iron Man came out, and then I think 2009 is when the Hulk came out. So then they had Thor, and then they did Captain America, but there was a big gap in between. Thor and Captain America didn't come out till well after Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
So, again, it just kind of goes to show that like your films can also serve a purpose of marketing something much bigger.
Interesting.
So yeah, I would say the Avengers. Let's just say
The
Avengers.
MCU.
Yeah, the MCU as a whole.
Yeah.
It's a marketing beast.
It's massive. Cool. My number 2 would be iRobot. Now, before, I'm getting some eyebrows, but
Is that the one with Will Smith?
Will Smith. Yeah. So the Will Smith iRobot movie. I was a little younger at the time, and I remember I didn't even see the trailer first. The first thing that I ever saw for iRobot in a movie theater was a big banner ad that said iRobot on it. And I didn't see anything on the big banner that said anything in regards to a movie, a release date, or anything. It just said, pre-order yours today. And it gave a website. And it was so incredible because I got home, we were talking about going into the computer room, loaded up this website that was a website almost like how you would pre-order like a Cybertruck, like on Tesla's website. It was a space where you can customize and pre-order and get all the way to the pre-order page where you're about to buy it. A robot from iRobot. And I remember thinking, this is incredible. This is a real, again, duped just like I was with the gold bars, but I remember thinking like, this is a real robot. Like, I can't wait to own this. This is this is phenomenal. The detail they went in with their website, like the pricing and everything. I was like, there's no way we're going to be able to afford it, but I know I still need to try and pre-order it. And I just remember getting all the way through the website and then getting to the end of it and it just said like, we'll email you or something like that. Like you put in your email and then obviously it was just a way for you to get updates on the film. But for the short, brief period of time before I realized it was a movie, it had me in. And then so going to see the movie, afterwards, figuring out that it's not a real thing and it's Will Smith, I just remember being so enamored with that world and with the future, the sci-fi future that they set out, and being so enamored with the character of Sonny, and as if like I was like, that could have been my robot, like
that's brilliant.
My iRobot.
I never heard of this.
You never saw that?
I missed that one. That's clever, man.
It was
I like
so
that.
smart, and to not put any of the information on the poster. Like, what a daring thing to do for that studio to be like, just find your own way into understanding what this is. So yeah, that's my number 2. A little short but sweet, but yeah, I like that one.
So that leads very nicely into my number 1, and I know
perfect.
Justin is definitely on the same page as me with this one in terms. Because I honestly think this might be the best internet marketing of a movie ever, and it also simultaneously invented viral marketing for movies. Of course, I'm talking about Blair Witch.
Oh my gosh.
Blair Witch.
I was thinking it while you were talking about Psycho.
Okay.
Yeah. And
this was the one, as soon as we came up with the topic for today, that was an easy one. The other two, I had to sort of think, this was like, no, this is, and it's funny because it wasn't so good that it made me have to see it. Right. It was so darn good that it was like, I am never seeing that movie ever, ever, ever.
Yeah.
Again, it basically invented, internet viral marketing. The creators, a year out, made a website dedicated to the lore of the Blair Witch. Wow. Just setting it up as this urban legend that had existed for decades and decades.
Yeah, this found footage.
Yeah, and it sat there for like almost a year until the movie itself was announced.
Really?
And then people discovered this site, looking it up, but it wasn't made for the movie. This is a
could it have
thing,
been? It's been there for a year.
They had people sneak into forums,
yeah,
and for urban legends and talk about the Blair Witch as if it was this story that people knew.
Oh.
They went around to college campuses,
and
hung up missing posters of the actors that are in the movie.
Jeez.
And then even
how do you get away with that?
Even on IMDb, the profiles of the 3 actors listed them as missing or dead, like the people themselves. So
but then, like, were people not like trying to like work with the police or like?
Authorities are working on the case. Authorities are investigating,
wow.
And so for even years after it came out, people still know that's real. Like they did such a good job of making you think this was potentially a real. It was found footage,
Wow.
Not paranormal style. Well, it's where it's it's found. This was like you're watching these kids. Found footage and they die in front of you
moly.
So I remember people at school talking about this Blair Witch.
Even after the movie came out, it was still not like
people were still going, that might be real. That might be real. But
Wow.
especially leading into it, it was like, this is a real story. And so I remember kids at school talking about it and like wanting to go see this movie about this potentially true story. And I was just like, I'm staying the hell. It took us years to finally watch it. And we watched it in broad daylight in the middle of the afternoon.
In hindsight, it helps to set up that film just because it is such a raw, gritty found footage. Like it kind of set the precedence for found footage films where it's docu style,
right?
But it's like definitely fictional.
Yeah,
but it feels so real.
Yeah,
and I think that their campaign for that was brilliant because it fed into this idea, putting the missing posters out.
That's crazy.
Talk about a payoff. I think it made 5,000 times its budget, pulled in $250 million, which was really big for a $100,000 movie or whatever.
They wouldn't
it was.
have had to spend any money on it.
Well, they probably, what did they spend on it? Probably,
I can't even.
I guess the majority of whatever they spent went to the
right.
marketing.
But like, here's
and defeating the actors while they tormented them for real in the woods to elicit fear. And
but see, that's where this is like a prime example. You don't need to throw a lot of money at the production,
right?
You throw a lot of money at the marketing, and the marketing will do the work.
But I don't even know how much even that kind of marketing. You know, a website domain and a pretty basic website.
Yeah.
Some posters that you stick up.
But you still got to get people to monitor. You got to still get people to actually.
But this isn't nowadays they're spending $50-60 million to market a movie.
Right.
I guarantee they didn't spend more than 10 or 20,000. You know?
Right.
Probably.
And it's like how a float in the Macy's Day Parade. What's the return on investment on something like that?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
Like cool, your character's flat, but like whatever. But I was just thinking like, how amazing would it be now to have a movie come out based on that marketing campaign?
Sure.
That's like an actual horror film that like, the characters are said to be missing and like it's this whole thing, but then it actually is happening. You know what I mean? But everyone's thinking, oh, it's just the blip. I don't know. I could see that being
that's an interesting one,
right?
Because they tried something Fourth Wall-y with number 2.
Okay,
I don't think I ever saw it, but I've read enough about it. Nothing like what you're talking about, but that same idea.
It didn't
shitey effects.
Well, number 2, from what I remember about the sequel, it was that it was kind of like it was more the traditional story, like a movie.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is that they were reacting to the first Blair Witch because it was like found footage, right? So
it was Blair Witch was real, so they were going to investigate it, and then the Blair Witch.
So their first one was like the found footage, and this is a real sort of thing, and the second one was actually like the story, like was like an actual typical film.
So they did it.
Yeah, no, but that's smart though, right? Like you didn't do it in your first run, you did it on the second one, right? Because you can't do the same thing again.
No,
right? Because then everyone's just anticipating that.
Yeah,
so
once the illusion and the once it's over. Mm-hmm. But for something to make so much money, it's like, how do we capitalize on this again?
Yeah. So yeah, my top one, and it also has a whole viral campaign behind it, and it was The Dark Knight. Mm-hmm. They ran a whole website campaign for Harvey Dent, which was, I believe in Harvey Dent, and it was really cool because it, for a film that is obviously dealing with fictional superhero characters in this fake city of Gotham. Yeah. Christopher Nolan's take, as we all are aware, it was a more gritty, real feel. Mm-hmm. This helped just add to that. So they didn't just do the campaign for Harvey Dent; they also did a scavenger hunt, and it was the way that they were able to reveal the first look of what Heath Ledger was going to look like. I
think I remember. Wasn't there a website?
Yeah, there was a website. That
would reveal little snippets,
but it was a scavenger hunt, so you would have to input information. When they launched it, San Diego Comic-Con played into bits and pieces of how you were going to get some of these clues. I thought that was really smart because it brings in another real element to this already real depiction of something that is typically fictional. And I thought, the idea of including the internet and those elements really plays into, again, this day and age. Blair Witch was obviously way ahead of it, and the internet was just, it was around, but it was still getting its traction. Right. Again, we talked about how accessible the internet was then versus now. Mm-hmm. Once you see what they did with the campaign, and then you go to see the movie, they really did fit very well together.
Yeah, you're in the story.
Yeah, you're in the story.
Like,
exactly.
Whereas Blair Witch was very much based on the simplicity of the internet almost at the time.
Yeah.
The Dark Knight used the full potential of the internet at the time to make this really big, deep, immersive experience.
And I think you're absolutely right, Nate. It was about being in the story. It wasn't about just going to see a movie and being on the other side of that screen. The whole marketing campaign, this whole sort of viral internet marketing campaign that they rolled out was to allow you to be in the story, right? And to be involved in it. Yeah. So I think that is always a really good way to get audiences, is to feel like they're part of that story. Yeah. So I think that to me was one of my top.
Cool.
All right, Nate, close us off with your number one.
My number one is for the best show on television.
Oh, boy.
Is it for Lost?
It's for Lost.
Oh my god.
So hear me out, okay? Before you guys freak out.
No, this was a good one.
Yeah.
It's just funny coming from you, that's all.
Well, because we were talking like this, it seems as though all three of our number ones are focused mostly on creating these narratives that you can be a part of, right? You are in the real world that the Blair Witch was happening. You are in the real world where you're collecting these things to put into a website to learn more about what's happening in the city of Gotham. And you are in the real world where you can go on like multiple different websites that are linked to the show that have like full like Dharma websites.
Yeah, the Dharma website was pretty sweet.
That you can go on, and then there were like glitchy areas that you could click on that would link to maybe, you would get to, what was the dog's name in the show? Vincent, where it would go to a page where it would list like, it would have him on the page, but it wouldn't say Vincent. Like it would just be like, best ways to take care of your Labrador and stuff like that. And like showed a dog like on an island and like all this stuff, like, just the fact that you could solve a puzzle on the website by clicking on a series of links that would get you to a phone number that you could actually call and someone would pick up and you would hear a conversation between like a Dharma initiative like president and someone else like talking about the island. Like it just blew my mind how deep it went, and a lot of it like I was like, this is such a J.J. Abrams mystery box, because he loves mysteries, right? So like looking back at it and knowing what that's all about, like it blew my mind when I was so invested in that show to fall down these like rabbit holes to learn more about this world.
It, very much like the show itself.
Yes.
Like I was big into the conspiracies of that show and what things were going to mean and everything like that, and so to your point, going and exploring all these things, it really did. It wasn't so much like you were a part of the show, but you were a part of solving the mystery of what was going on the show in a global community.
Yes, yeah.
And it's too bad that all disappeared after season 3.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It didn't stick.
It didn't. They just turned into a very narrative-based, simple.
I think
it was the atomic bomb blowing up that ruined that show.
Okay. But I don't know, man. I would say though that transitional moment when we see Jack and he's talking to Kate and he's saying we need to go back.
We need to go back. Yeah,
like that was pretty pivotal.
Because then it became
more
about
flash forward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I think they moved away from the sort of viral website marketing campaign, and they just started releasing shorts. There were those weird like 30-second or 2-minute shorts online.
I remember watching some of those videos on the website, just like almost like tutorial based videos that just kind of helped build out, like you were saying, like the lore of these elements that play a huge part.
It was picking up what do the numbers mean? What are they?
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, those ones?
Yeah, those are the ones. See? And what do they mean, Nate? At the end of the day, what did they represent?
They represented life.
See, I loved that show. Lost was my favorite show ever at that time.
Right.
I just don't know how, unless you really liked how it ended, I can't talk about it in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because of how disappointed I was that it didn't live up to the promises that it made in those first few seasons.
My friend said to me,
like, the others are just people living there with their families. Okie dokie.
Yes. Yeah. One of my friends said to me, because I told him, I said, I'll wait till the show's done before I can really watch it. And they said, oh, you're part of the Lost people. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you're one of those people that watched Lost and then was let down, and now you don't trust other television shows. And I was like 150%.
Yep.
Because that show did such an amazing job of building, and what it amounted to was absolute hot trash.
And I am personally offended every time I hear somebody compare Game of Thrones to that.
Yeah.
Because while the quality of the show dipped in the last few seasons, the end result was a little underwhelming. I will still watch Game of Thrones once every few years for the rest of my life.
I agree with that.
It did not. That ending did not hurt me personally like Lost did.
Sure, and I think that the reality is that with Lost, there was a lot of questions that were being asked, and we were thinking that we were going to get answers to, like what is the island? What is so significant about it?
I still don't know what the island was.
No, there was no
of the day,
clarification
right? With
about
the waterfall
what
in the cave with the light.
Have I explained on this podcast the exact my thoughts on the ending?
No,
in terms of like, so really quickly, because obviously this is not really falling in line with our top 3 marketing campaigns, but just really quickly, essentially the entire show has themes of black and white, faith and science, Jack and Locke, right? But the main theme here is faith and science, Jack and Locke, and all the way up into the end. And whether you think this was intentional by Lindelof or not, the way that I view it is that the entire point of the show, the ending there, the meta-narrative of not being okay with the ending of the show means that, sure, you were a man of science. If you're okay with not knowing all the answers, like Locke was, going through the show, going through and really not even getting those satisfying answers, if you were okay with that, then you were a man of faith. So you've got this sort of meta-narrative here of man of science, man of faith, and I feel like the divisiveness of that ending was specifically on purpose.
They intentionally ruined a show.
No, I disagree. I disagree 1,000%.
And let me tell you, I'm a man of science who had a hell of a lot of faith that they were going to figure out how to end this show, and they did not.
But this is why, this is exactly what Kevin said. And I think this is kind of why people compare Game of Thrones. I agree with you. Game of Thrones is entirely different, but it all falls not just on the last episode, but the last season. The last season of Lost had some really great episodes that were like, oh, intriguing, and it's whatever, right? Like, what is this? Kind of like Game of Thrones, but it really came down to is that they rushed it.
Yeah,
it was rushed, and it you can literally look at it as just that they were given a time frame of when this needed to be done, and they ran through it very quickly. And they realized, oh my god, we've planted so many seeds. Well, how are we going to resolve that? Well, we can't resolve that without getting into more episodes about it. We can't do it in one episode. Like, I could see the problems, and it was like, okay, let's just conclude our primary characters. That's our focus. We got to conclude those characters and see them off.
Those promises or those ideas and stuff all started coming through in the last 3 seasons. Season 1, the creators were constantly asked, is the island purgatory? Is the island purgatory? Is the story purgatory? No, we promise you. No, no. Final episode, they all walk into the light, finally get out of purgatory and go to heaven. And it was like, you liars, you just made this crap up as you went along. You had no grand vision for this show.
But that's exactly it. It wasn't even just the last episode. That whole last season was about purgatory. Because remember, it picks up with Jack on the plane after the bomb goes off. And he's just kind of like, well, what happened? Like, he's aware of the other period of time where he was on the island.
Yeah.
And he's recognizing all of these people. That whole season was all about purgatory.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And so, like I said, they didn't know where they were going. They made it up and they just finished off. The difference between Game of Thrones and that is at least somebody knows where Game of Thrones is going. George R. R. Martin isn't stalling because he doesn't know how this thing's going to end. He just doesn't know how to get there. But he at least has an end. And no, the creators got that end, but they didn't get the way to get there, and they had to make it up, and that's where they struggled. Lost did not. They started off brilliant premise, no conclusion in mind.
Yeah.
And what they came up with stunk.
But that website, though, was so cool.
Amazing. It was a fantastic marketing.
Going back to what you're talking about, the marketing campaign, how it built the lore, and to your point, it helped you be involved in the story and become part of it. That is, again, strong marketing, right? You're turning your fans into part of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, it was such a cool moment to discover that. It reminded me a lot of when I discovered the show for the first time, not knowing what it was and just seeing that eyeball open. Didn't quite mean to open a huge can of worms, but that has been our top 3 marketing campaigns. At this time, we are going to move into Watch Club for The Mandalorian. So if you have been keeping up with The Mandalorian, continue to listen. And if not, thank you so much for listening so far. Let's get into Watch Club. All right, so this is Watch Club. For those of you who've been keeping up with the show, we are kind of going through the first season of The Mandalorian and dedicating our Watch Club to The Mandalorian. For this Watch Club, we watched episode 3, The Sin of The Mandalorian. Guys, what did you think about this fantastic episode? Just your initial thoughts overall. Did you enjoy it? Was it good?
I thought it was excellent.
Yeah.
And I think it was your favorite so far.
Yeah, I think it's my
the way
favorite.
you talked about it was the most favorably you've talked about the show so far.
Yeah, I think it was a great episode. It's my favorite of them.
Of the 3?
Of the 3.
I think I would agree with you on that one.
Yeah, it definitely, and it's not because of the action. It's not because I think it's just the ball starting to roll, right? And it's getting there.
You mentioned the ball, you mean the little ball that Baby Yoda wanted off that little handle?
Yeah.
It was so cute. Everything in regards to Baby Yoda is little. Okay, so that little metal ball. Oh man.
Yeah. So, first impressions of the episode, fantastic.
Yeah.
It was great.
Directed by Deborah Chow.
Yep, which is
Right.
great insight, just because she's going to be doing Obi-Wan.
It's gonna be so good for Obi-Wan.
All of the episodes, or she'll work on a few.
I think she's maybe Obi-Wan's Jon Favreau. I think.
Oh, really?
I've heard that she's directing, and I don't think it's going to be as long as many episodes. I think it's
Okay,
only
might be
6
shorter.
episodes.
Okay.
So she might be it's like a mini series, right? So
And is that it? 1 season, 6 episodes?
I believe so.
Really?
With Kenobi, I wonder how much you could.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Actually, to hear that it won't be, this. He's going to be sitting on a desert. What is he going to do? Yeah.
Maybe he'll run into the Mandalorian.
Which is very different from this show, where I think the possibilities for where they can go and what they can do is endless. And we're just getting started. Like, I think now we're really getting started where it's, he's off there and he's going to be on the run. And
Yeah, overall, favorite episode so far, Kevin?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, there's only 3 of them, so it's like,
Yeah.
And
And I think I've just liked them all so much.
Yeah.
But almost for different reasons. Each episode has had such a different tone to it,
Yeah, I was underwhelmed by episode 2 only just because it felt very filler. This helped just kind of pick up the show and really just kind of amp it up a little bit more. We see the stakes. We see we also see a little bit more of the heartfelt care that the Mandalorian has.
Absolutely.
So I think that's great.
And I thought it included a lot of you got to see a few more characters a little bit more in depth. Like the armorer, the Mandalorian armorer had more.
She was very. She kind of felt very like she was in charge. You know what I mean? Like she, this is the way, and then they would all say, "This is the way," and even when Armando got into a big fight with the other Mandalorian, which, by the way, really
Jon
quickly,
Favreau, the voice of.
You beat me to it. Jon Favreau is the voice of Paz Vizsla, which is interesting because he's also the voice of Pre Vizsla from the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's so cool.
That's very cool.
That he found a way to get into it. He wasn't the body, apparently. It was a different actor.
No, it was a different actor, yeah.
But yeah, that was, for those who might have noticed that voice there when he starts fighting with Armando. But yeah, I mean, you mentioned you can see how much he clearly cares about this child. And, specifically in that first scene when he's, you get him, he delivers the baby, the asset, and then he leaves and he goes to grab the ignition on the ship and just pauses in that moment.
And then like, oh hell no,
right?
I'm going to get my baby back.
It's so good. And
so we've gone right into spoilers now for the episode.
Just so you know. Yeah, but I just thought it was so heartfelt, like that moment, right, of him just looking at it longingly.
Because you're like, oh, you're not going to drop him off. You're not going to drop him off. Okay. But you're going to go back, right? You're going to go back. And then he gets his armor and they step away from that story for a bit while he's getting his armor, and you're learning more about the Mandalorians and how they work as a culture, And then, he's walking towards the ship and you're like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Let's go. And then he's sitting down and firing it up. And it's like, go get the baby, man.
Yeah.
And he touches the little ball and it's just like, oh, yeah.
How devastating would it have been if you went back and the thing's just chopped in half?
Yeah, I think I loved some of the little Easter eggs in it. Like me and Kevin were actually talking about when the client pulls up the with
the ice cream maker.
What's his name?
Woodrow, yeah.
Wilro Hood.
Wilro Hood,
Yeah.
who's running in Cloud City with this thing.
So now it's not what was that he's carrying, it's what was in it.
Yes, exactly.
But so somebody joked, now you're going to hear, how they do the run of the Wilros at Celebration. Now you're going to hear things clanging around in there.
Exactly. Well, and I mean, like, in this case, it was Beskar, iron. But what if it was like for Wilro Hood? Like, what if that was like his life savings or something? You know what I mean? Like,
but who's to say that it wasn't what the client has?
It could have been anything. Well, because the interesting thing is, Grief Karga mentions, and he mentions it by name, a Camtono. He mentions as the name of that ice cream maker.
Okay.
And when he meets with the Mandalorian, he's like, take some time off. Go get a Camtono full of spice. And he specifically says, like, he's like, by the time you come out of hyperspace, you'll have forgotten all about it. And it's like, are drugs? Are we talking about drugs?
I couldn't
here?
translate what they were talking about there. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
It could like come out of hyperspace, right? Come down from your high. I was just like, wow, they're going there with drugs. And even when Grief Karga says something about like, I'll take you to the bathhouse or something, the Twi'lek bathhouse.
Oh yeah. That was a very direct insinuation
I'm like,
of
Disney.
that.
What? Oh, okay.
I think the teamwork that you see at the end of the episode when all of the Mandalorians come in,
huge
it was great. Yeah, it was
cool.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the end. I thought we were going to save that, but okay, let's jump right in.
Well, I just think it was cool to see. Like, I've always understood the Mandalorians to be kind of like very independent. It was cool to see.
Boba definitely was, right? And Django definitely was on his own. But again, as we've mentioned before, they're not
posers.
Yeah, they're posers. They're not real Mandalorians. So obviously seeing the tribe, right? This is the way.
Yeah.
And seeing them work together, that camaraderie was just incredible to see that. So really cool stuff.
Well, yeah, that was the season or episode 3 hook, right? They've all had a hook or a cool moment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a Baby Yoda. Oh, Baby Yoda definitely has the Force. Mm-hmm. And then this, like, them all coming in, kicking ass.
Not to mention, we got the Baby Yoda gender reveal in this episode, where Dr. Pershing clearly says, like, 2 times, he, don't hurt him.
True.
And so it's like, okay, so we know that this, whatever it is, this child, this Baby Yoda, is male. So that's interesting, to say the least. And then, other interesting things that I noted as well. When our Mandalorian character wants to just get back into work, Grief Karga puts out a bounty puck that shows a Moncal.
Yes.
Which was super cool for fans of Admiral Akbar.
Is this going to be Akbar's son, who is apparently in episode 9, I wonder?
Well, so that would be interesting. I'm trying to think about the aging in terms of that, right?
Who knows how Mon Calamari aged?
That's true. I mean, if you've got a Baby Yoda that's 50 years old, so absolutely, that could be the case. Maybe he's a young teenage version of this son of Admiral Akbar, who has a name. I just haven't looked it up. But yes, maybe that would be kind of a neat tie-in. Do you think
that's who it is?
I could see it. I mean,
there's a whole race of them,
so. Right? And they do all look very similar.
But they specified that it was an important person's. Yes. It was a diplomat's son.
Correct. They said,
okay,
yeah.
Diplomat.
So I said like a royal or something. Yeah. Interesting. Guys. So let's think about this. Give me your top 2 moments from the episode. Obviously, we kind of all have our number one already said, but maybe another moment that really shined for you.
I think my number 1 moment was to see him go in there and pick up that baby and strut out shooting all the stormtroopers. That was great.
You kind of called it, right?
I was telling Kevin, there's the writer episode from Slash Film that wrote that article that referenced the John Woo film.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, it's happening. It's totally happening. Yeah. I just wanted to see more and like him just running. But like, I liked his stealth sort of mode. And then when he gets surrounded.
Oh, and he's like the whistling birds.
Yeah, the whistling birds to like blast up the things.
See, I figured that's how he was going to get out of it at the end. But I like the idea. It's like, okay, somebody's going to go in there and count exactly how many he had.
Yeah.
Like he received. And then it's like, okay, so he used 4 of them.
Yeah.
So like, I want them to be so precise with these things, right? Like he has maybe 20 of them.
Right.
He's down to 16.
So they're, because there's going to be a fan out
because it'd be
there.
too easy if he could just.
I believe there was only 13
Yes.
when I counted. Like,
But you know what? If they're going to be pay attention to
Yeah,
detail, like
absolutely.
it shows they are, it'd be cool to keep track of those.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought what else was great about that scene, the whole scene, not only him with the baby, but even before getting in there, killing his way through. Because I talked about how he's kind of like a bumbling buffoon in a lot of ways,
Right.
That and not this time.
no, he was very calculated.
He was, but doing it. He didn't, I mean, he ended up having to rely on somebody to save him for the 3rd episode in a row, but he was still far more of an assassin with a reputation that deserves a reputation we saw in this one.
And I loved the that moment. He's spying on Dr. Cushing. He's using almost like what is that from, like Predator or whatever, the vision that the heat vision. And did you notice though, in that like brief garbled voice that he heard coming from the client, he said he specifically asked us to get it back alive. So there's someone else out there.
The client is
right. The client of someone else.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And so it's like, so who is he talking about? Is it Emperor Palpatine? Is it Snoke? Right? Could it be Snoke?
I don't think so. I think this is going to be
someone completely different.
I don't think we've
what
seen
if
his
it's,
character yet. But
what's Blue Guy?
Blue guy?
The blue bad guy that everyone.
Oh, Thrawn. Sorry, I thought you were referencing the blue guy from the first episode of this series. I'm like, that's an interesting twist.
No.
He's like...
he's the master.
Yeah, he's the mastermind behind all of it. Yeah.
I wonder if it's going to be in relation to Giancarlo Esposito's character.
That would make sense.
Yeah, I can
there's-
see him being the big bad.
Because he looks like he's going to have, like, from the trailers,
Mhm.
there's a scene that they kind of showed where he's with a legion
Of
of stormtroopers.
death troopers.
Death
the
troopers.
black stormtroopers, yeah.
So I think he's probably going to be the one, and who knows who he's working for.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm not really down for the whole, this is somehow connected to the bigger story.
Right.
I think this is all very focused on a story in the galaxy far, far away,
Right.
rather than it having this constant thread with everything
So
else.
the threads that are going to carry through to the other parts of the world are going to be, you think they're going to be much smaller. They're not going to be as blatant or as...
No, exactly.
Would you
Yeah.
be a little disappointed if Baby Yoda doesn't become like a prominent, important figure in the overall scheme of things?
Maybe within the series, but maybe not in the actual
Yeah.
films. I mean, it's just, you think about episode 9, and episode 9, we just talked about, it's wrapped, it's done.
Yeah, but
And-
I don't
and-
necessarily mean the films we've already seen, but
Right,
in films
going
going
forward.
forward and
Mhm.
if we
maybe.
have stories a couple hundred years,
Right.
after the Skywalker
Teenage
saga.
Yoda. That's interesting. I did think overall this episode, as we said, it definitely was my favorite. One of my favorite moments, and I think we all agree our favorite moment had to have been the moment at the end. He finally gets the Baby Yoda. He leaves that place after killing all those stormtroopers. The client is nowhere to be seen, and it was like John Wick, Chapter 2, when all those beepers start going off, right? All of it,
yeah,
right? It was
yeah.
like I was like, that's all I could think of watching this. I'm like, where is Keanu right now? And
He's the Mando.
right, he's the Mandalorian, and then the dog is Baby Yoda. But but yeah, like, where's that fan art? But no, I think that moment, and then you start seeing them follow him, and the guns are all pointing just slightly off screen as the camera just stays on him. It was so well shot. And then he gets into that massive battle, and then does that amazing flip into like the truck or whatever, and he tells the droid to drive, and it's like burr, burr, and it's like no, and then he's like okay, and then he starts driving,
And then he gets shot anyways.
Yeah, right.
Damn you, Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers does not care about droids.
Speaking of, he was my least favorite part of this episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I thought he was really overacty. Like,
But is that
especially
not
in
his
the
charm?
Especially in that hologram, like it was like you couldn't have done a couple more takes.
In
Like
that
tone it down, Carl.
yeah.
Tone it down.
That hologram gave me vibes of like you're playing the PC game, and that's like the
Yeah.
message that comes through or
and
something.
then even
right?
when he first comes into the bar and it's oh ho ho Mando, and
Right.
it's, oh.
Yeah, but is that a Carl Weathers thing to do? I mean, I haven't seen him in too many things.
I don't think he's like super campy as
Yeah.
Apollo Creed or anything.
No?
So
Okay.
I mean, he's over the top and loud and boisterous,
Right.
but like it was just so like scenery chomping, theatrical. Like it was just, you're on a TV show, not on a stage. You don't need to project quite that way.
But I think he had one of the best lines in the episode of just saying like, I'm your only hope. Right?
Yes.
And I was like,
yes, that was awesome.
That callback.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that whole moment where they jump out, and then one of them said something. One of the Mandalorians said, or I think he said, go on without us, or move on, or whatever. And then Armando said, and I keep saying Armando because we don't really have a name for him yet, but Din Djarin or whoever he is, Pedro Pascal said, you're going to have to relocate, or you're going to have to move the clan, or something like that. And it's like, okay, so because they already established a bit of those rules of like, we can only go out one at a time. Why is it always him? That sort of thing. And so it's like, I'm just trying to understand the secrecy behind it, and I hopefully they'll delve into that a little bit more.
Well, it's because of the purge.
Right, I guess that's...
And they're being hunted, and so they stick together in hiding, you know, to reduce their visibility.
I guess, yeah. But
I mean, what are they under threat from now? If the Empire's gone...
Everyone's kind of in free fall right now, so I'm just trying to think of, like, what exactly are they protecting by hiding underground, consistently? But it is interesting, because then does that mean that we've finally gotten away from, I guess, that planet now, and going forward, it's maybe they meet on a completely different planet or in space or something like that. Or maybe we just don't see these Mandalorians anymore.
We may never see them ever again. Yeah, or at least this season, right?
I liked when the client is handing off the payment to Mando. He opens it up, he looks at it, and then he looks and he says, "What are you going to do with him?" Mm-hmm. And then he says, "How very interesting." He basically calling him out, like, "Why do you care so much?"
Yeah.
And this isn't of the
It's
guild.
not normally for...
It's not normal.
Well, and then the Carl Weathers character says again, like the next scene, like, no, that's not what we do in the guild. We don't ask questions.
Yeah.
We get our payment and we walk away.
Right, exactly. And I think that...
But no, he wants his little foundling back. He wants to know what you're going to do to him.
Yeah, and I think he also just feels... It shows that his unrest with handing over,
a child.
This child.
The doctor character.
Yes.
Do we think he might end up being like maybe a good guy?
Dr. Pershing?
Like,
I could see that.
He was very like, he said like, I didn't want to hurt it. I don't want to hurt it,
right.
Yeah, but I think that he looks like the good guy right now, but who knows what...
It would be cool if they did a switcheroo there. Maybe he is like a really terrible person at the end of it or whatever, or, that sort of thing. But, I haven't got enough of any of these characters to really understand.
And what are they extracting?
What their allegiance is, right? Yeah, the
But
Force, midi-chlorians.
Yeah, I bet you it had, like, if anything, I guess that's the general assumption that that it's like his blood or his DNA.
Yeah.
But to what?
For what purpose?
Yeah.
Right.
And what's the benefit?
And if they're only extracting, why did they? Like, they need him alive, I guess, right? But like he said, he needed to be delivered to him alive, right? So. Even after they do their testing, whoever the client is working for still needs to get this thing to him alive.
And we got to think too timeline, right? Like this takes place 5 years after the Empire's fallen. So after, let's say, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really sick if Obi-Wan was the one that found him and saved him.
Whoa.
But no, because it's on the Mandalorian's planet that he gets discovered, right?
Is it?
Like, we're gonna keep getting flashbacks.
But is it though?
Yeah, because it's during the purge.
No, but you have to remember though, because she said, "Have you ever taken your helmet off?" And so if he was, if he's a little kid, I'm assuming that once a little kid ages a certain amount, they become a Mandalorian proper, and they put a helmet on and they never take it off, and they grow with it or whatever,
it must
right?
Stink so bad.
Probably. But you have to imagine though, then like, don't you think like his parents would have been wearing armor?
No, because not all Mandalorians are Mandalorians necessarily.
Okay.
They have a certain...
I guess you're right,
They have a certain way of life and a certain belief.
Yeah.
Not all Christians are pastors.
Right.
In a matter of speaking.
I guess that's fair, yeah. So then, yeah, I mean, it could have been. I'm interested to see, because that scene that we see, which, by the way, I think the weakest part of the episode for me was, again, the way that they did the flashback. I wasn't so much upset with what they were showing in the flashback, but I was just like, to do this again, only one episode apart, where it's the armor hitting the steel
I
and then
think
bringing
There's
those.
something.
I think that's what they're going to keep doing.
Yeah.
There's going to be something in episode 4 or 5 where there'll be a clanging or a banging,
Right.
and we're going to see, okay, so the battle droid's got it open now.
So maybe we figure
and what
out.
happens to that battle droid that he doesn't just shoot him and kill him, right? I think that's where they're going with that. They're going to reveal his...
Obi-Wan, man.
Yeah.
That'd
you
be
think,
cool,
You think
but-
Obi-Wan comes in and force punches it in the face or something? And that's
No,
the
just-
clang noise?
Be a cool way to introduce Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
But would it, though? We know he's Obi-Wan. He was in 3 movies. But you just said 5 minutes ago you don't think this is going to be a part of that story, and now you're like, this is how we're going to do it, baby.
I don't like. I'm not opposed to. I don't think that they're going to be directly associated, and I don't think that they should be. But like, it would be a cool little. Like something like that to me is so small.
Yeah.
But it's the most impactful to the character's journey.
Maybe in like a finale hook,
Sure.
right? Or we finally see what is at the end of that droid opening up that whatever he's jumped into that bunker and points at him, and then we see. But it's just like the production on the Obi-Wan series, I don't think is anywhere far enough along for them to work.
Doesn't
that
mean they
in.
couldn't have had him come in and do a
Yeah, they
cameo.
could easily call him in to do it. I
But
just
then-
hope they don't.
No, but then
I thought we didn't want
Yeah.
crossovers in this show. Even as cool as it would be,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an integral moment that you could build a new character from.
Sure.
Maybe
it's Saw
what if,
Gerrera.
or what if it's Boba?
Would it be Saw?
What if it's Boba?
Yeah, Saw Gerrera would have been in between.
No, Saw is dead by that point. Saw died before episode 4.
Yeah, but this scene is taking place before,
This
like
is
somewhere
taking place
between
between
episode 2 and 4. I'm not sure when the purge takes place.
Yeah.
No. Oh, you're saying that flashback is taken.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it could. Maybe. We'll
What
have
if it's Boba?
Well,
That's how you can have Boba in the show without having to resurrect him from the Sarlacc pit.
that would be
You
kind of
show
cool.
him in the flashback. Would he be old? No, he'd still be.
He'd still be young.
He'd be the
'Cause
kid.
he-
What if it's Django? No, but then that would have to take place before episode 2 where he
Yeah.
dies. Okay, so the fets are out.
Yeah.
I'm taking the fets out of this.
Well, anyways, overall, I think we can all admit favorite episode. I think if maybe we're going to give it a final score here. I would say I would give it. Let's see here. What did I give I did 8.5. I'll give this one 9 ice cream makers out of 10.
I will give this one a solid 8.9 ice cream makers out of 10. I'm waiting for that big, massive episode to get into the 9s. I
Okay.
think. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give it an 8. 8
Yeah.
ice cream makers.
8 ice creams.
Ice cream sandwiches.
Very cool.
This is such a unanimously well-received show by all Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
And yet it's like, what a clunky review we've just given it. We're all over the map. We don't know what to talk about first. We don't know what to...
As I was saying in one of our other podcasts, it's I'm trying to navigate my way of understanding and talking about Star Wars as a show and not so much as a movie with those beginning, middle, end.
Even though there
components.
have been plenty of Star Wars shows already.
For sure.
But not in a live action.
Not in a live
for-
action capacity.
Not designed for adults and,
Yes.
And
like
not with
older
this-
fans to
Exactly.
enjoy.
And not with this kind of audience, I
Yes.
think. right?
Exactly.
Everyone's talking about this
Yes,
show.
exactly.
And positively.
Yeah.
Man, the negatives are hard to find,
Mm-hmm. But
and we're going to finally get Gina Carrera in the next episode, I think. Not that I've watched the next
Told you.
up, but
Yeah. Yeah.
what?
Told you we wouldn't be seeing her until after the third episode.
3.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. Well, guys, that is it for our Mando in Review Watch Club episode 3. The sin. What was the sin?
I think leaving him behind.
You think leaving behind
Or-
or revealing themselves? Like that's a sin against the Mandalorian.
Maybe
way.
or maybe he sinned in screwing over the guild, in going back and stealing.
I like
That's probably what it is. Screwing over the guild.
Cool. Well, hopefully we'll never screw over the guild. I don't know. I was trying to find a transition. Guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And if you did, make sure to subscribe to us wherever you like to listen to podcasts. We are Geekcentric, and you can be too, which means that you can check us out on youtube.com/geekcentric, follow us on Twitter at geekcentricyt, and follow us on Instagram at We Are Geekcentric. And if you guys want to write in with any of your thoughts on The Mandalorian so far, we'd love to hear it as part of Watch Club. Hear what you think about, Baby Yoda and whether you'd want to buy 50 replica Baby Yoda dolls that we all want. Well, where can they actually do that?
They can reach us at wearegeekcentric@gmail.com. I'm not repeating it.
No,
That's
again.
wearegeekcentric@gmail.com.
Thank you, Kevin.
There
This
you
is
go.
the way. Justin, Kevin, thank you so much for joining me for today's marketing-filled episode. And as we say, love ya.
Get home safe.
Peace.
This is the way.
This is the way.